It's still in there. Okay, that was in deep and it was in the gravel wash layer. So that, unless it's a dinosaur source shotgun pellet, it's going to be a bit of gold. Impromptu last minute camping trip the second I got home from New Zealand. I'm in Creswick. These forests out here are extremely vast. I'm using one of the best metal detectors in the world, coupled with one of the best aftermarket coils in the world. And with a little bit of luck, I might have some shiny gold tomorrow.
You're flexing weird, but everything's fine. I'm flexing weird. Yep.
And I'm currently cooking steak back at camp, and that seems like a more important thing to do this Saturday night. People ask me, how does Fern not fall on the holes? You'd have to be pretty thick to fall into something like that, right? Like, you watch where you walk. With my steak consumed and a solid rest overnight, I was ready to hit the Creswick bush to see if I couldn't find any gold. I haven't charged this thing since I got back from New Zealand, and it's still got full battery. That's good, I'm okay with that. Currently got a helicopter in the area, so I'm gonna have to do 6 million EMI cancels because we've got the loud Flappy boy up there. Thing is, you can already see that other detectorists have hit this area. You don't know with what machine, and it's always worth going over them, which I have done. But if you just remove yourself from the obvious a little way, and I started finding targets. This sounds good. It's probably going to be a shotgun pellet. However, I found if you get away from the obvious, you start finding gold again. I'll just kick this top stuff off, because if it's in the top stuff, then it's probably a shotgun pellet. Let's hope. You helping? Can I get in there? Thank you. Somewhere about here, it was actually pretty deep, but I reckon it's going to be a bit of junk by the sounds of it. Getting gold too early in the day, not always a good move. There, I reckon that's a shotgun pellet. Yep, first pellet of the day. Whole 2 weeks in New Zealand, not a single shotgun pellet. Coming back to Australia, first target I dig up, shotgun pellet. Because everyone asks all the time, yes, you have to fill in your holes. It takes literally no time at all. Still on the ground. Ah! That's a good sign. All right. It's somewhere in this section here. It's loud, but it's not arcing the machine out. And there's always hope when it doesn't arc the machine out. Modern man-made stuff tends to completely overwhelm the machine and make it blank out. Which is it's doing now. Normally gold won't do that, so I'm betting another pellet. No, there it is. Ah! Second pellet of the day. If you want to be a gold miner, you got to embrace the fact that you're actually going to be a lead miner primarily. It blows my mind how much quartz is in central Victoria. These gold fields are littered with it. Now, quartz is an indicator of gold, but 99.99% of all quartz on Earth has no value at all when it comes to gold. It's little. Whatever it is little, because this coil is really sensitive. Ah, that, my friends, is the first hot rock. A hot rock is just a rock that is filled with minerals like iron that can set your detector off. Sometimes there's gold in them. Sometimes. So you take them home and you add them to your crush.
A few moments later.
I dug the hot rock out there. I was like, oh, I'll have a look around. Come down here. And got a nice little signal. Didn't think it was going to be anything because it was very loud. I just spotted it in my scoop. There is a piece of gold right there. Look at that. Oh, it's a tasty little flaky nugget. Yeah. Oh, that is one flat flake of gold, but that's made this trip well worth it. Nice. If there's gold here, that means there's going to be gold all throughout this quartz. I am going to ruin any chances I have of getting gold out of that little hole down there by saying, this sounds like gold. I went down on just the smallest, faintest of signals. It barely sounded like anything. I scratched the top off, it got a little bit louder, dug down into it, and now we're here. Might be a pellet, might be a pellet. Doesn't sound like one though. Yay, a piece of quartz in that, nice dirty one. Yeah! Ah! That's making the machine arc out too. That is a quartz rock. That means that is guaranteed to be a gold specimen. Sometimes, if you kiss enough of the gold guard's ass, you can get away with saying this sounds really good. Just at the very tip of my thumbnail, there is a little bit of gold sticking out of the yellow clay that's surrounding it. So I won't be able to see it properly till I get it home and crushed up. It's a nice flat alluvial flake from this old creek working. And a specimen that's come down from the mines at the top. Oh, today is a good day. And Fernie literally came over and stood right where I detected. I just scraped this tiny little patch out here and I picked up some conglomerate and it's got a signal in it. And literally not even 2 meters away. That sounds all right. All right, Mr. Stumpy, show us what you got. Give it a light little gentle scrape because every time I do a big scrape, I seem to lose the target. Right, I definitely got it out. And the question is, gold or dinosaur rubbish? It's sounding more and more like dinosaur rubbish. Ah, yep. They had shotguns back in the Jurassic.
Clever girl.
Let's be real, you can't win them all. Oh man, it's hard. I'm really jet lagged at the moment, which sounds dumb because it's only a 2-hour time difference from New Zealand to here. But that 2-hour time difference puts you back at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you've got to get up at 5, which I had to for about half the trip, that means you're getting up at 3 a.m. I acclimatized to that and now I'm back in Australia. So the effort that I've got in this video has been very minimal. I'm just casually walking along creek beds and detecting. A stupidly loud signal right on the edge of this bank, and it's one of those spots where I couldn't pull it back, so I had to drop it. I dropped it onto a pad I made, and would you look at what I just spotted in my scoop? That is a piece of gold right there. Right there. Ah, yes! Oh, what a little trip. Like, for real, this is such an impromptu trip. I was like, I'm going to stay at home and rest for the whole week, but that's not what ended up happening. Perhaps I should be turning the camera on for every target. Next target, I'll turn the camera on. I guarantee that will mean it'll be a shotgun pellet. I might be tired, but this has been a good trip. I found that piece of gold right there, just behind that dead tree. Come up to here, just behind this little piece of tussocks. I told you it will probably be a shotgun pellet. But we found gold just there, and Fernie's been leading me to all these spots. Literally just been following Fern and finding gold. It's very faint. I'll just take that top off and hopefully it gets sharper. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, get rid of that. Go down a little bit. Yeah, we're starting to see gravel. If it's in that gravel, that feels very original to me. And still in there, I think. Okay, that was in deep and it was in the gravel wash layer. So that, unless it's a dinosaur source shotgun pellet, it's going to be a bit of gold. That is a rock. Oh my God. I don't know if that's gold yet, but yep, you know we're in the bush, right? And that is shit. Thank you for that. This is what I got left. I don't know if that's a rock or not. Ah! Yep, right there. We got gold. We got good gold. That's a nice little vein of gold coming out in that rock. Fern's sacrifice to the poo gods has made all the difference. I got a couple of pieces of gold in this rock. That is going to be a fun one to crush up. Bro, you stink so bad. It sure is nice to be back home and on the gold fields with a detector. However, dishonor. Dishonor on me, dishonor on my family, dishonor on my cow. That was a wicked overnight gold prospecting trip to the central goldfields of Victoria. Got these 2 nice little pieces out of 2 separate river channels. I'm stoked to find actual gold like that so easily. And then we got 3 specimens, one of which is actually not really a specimen. Because this is a conglomeration of rock, there's every chance it could just be a hot rock giving us a signal on this. And I'm not gonna know till I crush it up. This little specimen is going to escape crushing. I can see visible gold in it just here, and I'm going to be giving this away over on Patreon, along with a 1 gram pay dirt. Patreon only costs $1 to sign up. There's no long-term commitments. If that's something that you're interested in, the link is in the description below. Anyway, for those of you who don't know who Stampy is, Stampy has one job, and that's stamping. Conglomerate. You know what? Maybe that wasn't conglomerate. It really sounded like it had a nice little chirpy signal in it, and it looked like conglomerate, but I'm actually thinking that was quartz wrapped around an iron matrix. Now that I've broken it up, you can actually see some of the iron in these pieces here. I'm thinking this might actually be a hot rock. I love having these birds in my backyard, except when you steal my apples. Right, this will not take very long. I'm thinking more and more that this is just a hot rock. If I see a piece of gold at the bottom of this, I'm going to be absolutely blown away. And no gold. That means that was a hot rock. I can literally see the 2 pieces of gold sticking out of this one, so we know there's going to be gold in it. Well, as they say in Texas, time for a rough pounding. Well, any gold that was in there is now going to be very squished. Detecting here in the northeast usually leaves a lot of very fine gold, but I wasn't detecting in the northeast, I was detecting in the Golden Triangle, and I found that there's usually a chunk with very little fine gold mixed in with it. So we're going to find out what we got. We know we got a couple pieces because we could see them, but how big were they? Ah, look at that. Yeah, they're nice and very flat now. What's interesting about that is those flakes look very water-worn to me, and if I look at the soil down here, it doesn't really look like rock. It more or less looks like really condensed soil. Given I got those other 2 flakes from the nearby area that were clearly water-worn, it indicates to me that there's a chance that I wasn't finding specimens as much as I was finding very compacted conglomerated rock and earth. But there you have it, overnight camping trip out to Creswick, and I managed to find some nice pieces of gold using my metal detector.